Less humid with a high of 58. Wednesday night will be partly cloudy with a low of 46. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina on AM 560, The Answer.
Get the latest weather, traffic, and news updates online at 560theanswer.com.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this hour of the Sean Thompson Show is sponsored exclusively by DonleyAuctions.com. They need your guns. Sell for top dollar. DonleyAuctions.com.
I love America. I love the Constitution. I love the First Amendment. I want to carry and all guns. I love property. And let me tell you something. If you care about your country, I'll read Ludwig von Mises and the 6 lessons of the Austrian Economic School, motherfuckers.
From the streets of Melrose Park to the trading floor of the Merc, he's fought for every dollar he's ever earned. And now, with personal liberty and our system of capitalism under assault in America, he's here to seize back our rights from the government. With a cigar in one hand and a copy of the Declaration of Independence in the other, he's Sean Thompson. And this is the Sean Thompson Show.
Some folks are born made to wait.
250-year-old country. But we've had the highest quality of life since the very beginning because we give you the opportunity to keep your own property rights. I love that intro, too. Von Mises. There isn't a rat Democrat moron who understands the importance of von Mises or capitalism or what this country stands for. The good news is you don't need them to. You just have to protect yourself while you're alive and make certain that when you die, your kids get the money. And that's why we are talking to Scott Tucker, the president, investment advisor, representative of Scott Tucker Solutions. He named this company very deceiving. You didn't want anyone to know it was you. I like that about you. You're very modest. And he's dressed in a suit coat, and it's buttoned. And we're ready. Scott Tucker, how are you, handsome?
Oh, I'm doing great, Sean. How are you?
Very good, very good. This is very important stuff, and I love to tell people about it because there's, every day the average American makes 30,000 decisions. And they don't know it. They don't know it. 30,000 decisions from the minute you open your eyes to the minute you close them. Those are the decisions, if you're aware of them, you make the right ones, and you don't have to worry about what you make as you get older. Isn't it true?
Well, people make decisions all of the time, Sean, every day, and they don't think about it at all. They make a decision to save in their 401k, not save in their 401k, put money in the traditional, not put it in the traditional, put it in the Roth or not. And a lot of folks just sleepwalk, and then when they're 60, 65, they wake up and a lot of times they find a mess.
Now, the other side of the coin is, listen, I'm not kidding you, brother. I remember not knowing if we were going to be able to make rent. It was me and my mother. We didn't have the fracking money to put away. The idea of saving was so foreign. What do you mean saving? I can barely get through it. But the interesting thing about structuring something, anything, 10% of what your salary is. The benefits, not just at retirement, but during taxes, if you structure that correctly, can really make such an incredible difference because money is time, right? It's got a timestamp on it. And if you put $10 away 30 years ago, it's like putting 90 away today. And that's what people don't understand. And if you do that, that $10 isn't really $10 by the time you need it. It's 90. And this is what people need to be aware of. But only people who study money understand it, and that's why it's important you get the right consultation, isn't it?
That's right. You mentioned a thing about a time when you're younger and you didn't have anything. But as we go, we gain more experience and we improve our skills and we move up into higher and higher paying profession or job or whatnot. You ask for a raise, you switch jobs, but then you get to a point where you could just go below that money. Of course, I think most of our listeners are smart enough to know that's not the way to go. So as you go, set up an automated system, saving at the Roth 401k at work, maybe get a match, don't get a match, but that compound interest. Warren Buffett said that compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world.
Really?
But let's not compound the growth in our tax-deferred accounts like our IRA or traditional 401k or deferred comp. Let's think about the importance of growing the money in tax-free accounts. That's really going to give you a better outcome.
So the Roth is always the original, right?
Yeah, that's the most common, right?
That's the most common. But there are ways to convert as you're working, as you're maturing, that people are unaware of as well.
Right, since 2010, and most folks don't even know this, if you have a financial planner, Back in 2010, you remember when they sat you down and they said, well, hey, the law has just changed. And back in 2010, they changed it to where you could do a Roth conversion at any age. You could convert any amount, and you could do it regardless of your income. So if you've been working with a financial planner since 2010, you've already done all that, and you probably don't have anything tax deferred. Although I will tell you, there's a little bit of a conflict of interest. Sean, most financial advisors never talk to their clients about Roth conversions, which is one of the most basic strategies for tax planning, because most financial advisors aren't getting any compensation for doing a Roth conversion, just about all of them. And actually, I tell folks, every time we do a Roth conversion, the less I make. Because we're going to send a little bit of money to the IRS, but you're going to have a tax-free account that grows tax-free the rest of your life, and it'll leave a tax-free legacy rather than a tax-deferred legacy, leaving your taxes to your grandkids.
It's so important to understand that. And you know, the other thing that goes by the wayside is how important the big beautiful bill was, because it gives you more control over more of your money. This gets lost in translation to so many people. You don't have to like anybody to want your own money. I think the big beautiful bill, the benefits of it were not explained properly. The benefits to not just growing your company, should you have one, but growing your own wealth by diverting some of that into your retirement. There's tremendous benefits to that that never gets talked about. So you have to go through the big beautiful bill and understand every aspect of how advantageous it is to have that bill as a law, isn't it?
Right. There are a couple of misconceptions about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. One of them is that folks still think that it means your Social Security is free from federal income taxes. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act, as it was passed and signed into law, did not say your Social Security is free from federal income tax. You can still find yourself with up to 85% of your Social Security federally taxed in retirement when you're not even working.
Think about how ridiculous. I'm going to cite that is beyond ridiculous. First of all, there is no fund that's not your money. It's not like they came to you and they said, open up an account. They stole the fracking money at the minute they took it from you. Your employer gave money, they stole that fracking money. Then they're going to create debt to give you what they say is your Social Security. Then they tax the money they gave you.
Double taxation.
It's the Enron. This is Enron. It's a fracking scam.
If the government does it, it's legal.
Oh, my. I don't know why these Vikings, if they wouldn't have brought back religion, we'd be taking over everything. This is outrageous that people aren't lighting the torches. The Social Security is a financial crime. And the best part about structuring your retirement in a good fashion, you don't give a rip if they cheat you. Is there any benefit to saying to the government, I just want what I put in, what you say I put in. I don't want anything. You can't do that, though, can you?
Well, there is no lockbox. Remember Al Gore with the lockbox? It doesn't exist.
Al Gore.
There's just a bunch of IOUs. And I taught a workshop one time at Oakton College in Des Plaines years ago, and it was a crowd of everybody, Democrat, Republican, everybody. And I said, you know, there is no lockbox, there is no trust fund. It's a box full of IOUs. And this lady got all mad. She wrote this big diatribe on her paper, and she handed me this paper at the end of the class as if I were going to give her extra credit. But she was all mad. She goes, no, it's backed by U.S. Treasuries. And I said, yeah, it's a box full of IOUs.
Yeah.
Here's a shoebox of promises.
And then that was before they used the term monetized debt, which means they make up buyers for the treasuries that they can't sell. So when you really look at it, it is why you need to fend for yourself, because ultimately they sold a lie to people. And it was people, they took advantage of their patriotism. They took advantage of their naivete of understanding what a swindle it always was and what a tax it was. And they hope you never collect it, which is why they make it very difficult for you to get it. And they only pay out, if they're lucky, what, a little more than 40% ever collect it, because most people die prior. The nice thing about what you do is you leave it to your kids because it's always your money. That's the greatest benefit of it. That's why no one should ever participate in the scam of Social Security, and that's why the government made it mandatory. You can't even get away from it. The rats. Rats!
They'll send you to prison, Sean.
I'm a terrible slave. Scott Tucker, your company is about being a terrible slave. You want everybody who's a terrible slave, don't you?
Yeah, well, I've got there a free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go? And for folks
I know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
If you want to get a free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go? You can just go to retirementdecoded.com. At retirementdecoded.com to send in your information. We'll get you a free copy of that book. We have another book that's coming out. It's going to be actually in July, we'll be giving away free copies of that. But Sean, there's a free pre-publication copy for you there, Illinois Grave Robbers.
I love this.
That's about the Illinois estate tax. So in Illinois, there's a threshold.
You think the dailies are worried about this?
Well,
you think the empire that built the mafia in Chicago is worried about their tax after death, their estate tax, or you think they're structured properly?
Well, let's talk about the Pricksters. They've worked around it with South Dakota Dynasty Trust and Cook Islands Trust and all these sorts of things. There are ways, if you're already at $4 million or above, and you're worried about the Illinois estate tax, there are ways to work around it without even leaving Illinois. You could use a South Dakota Dynasty Trust. We could also use other irrevocable trusts, Cook Islands Trust and things, to not only seek to eliminate or reduce the impact of the federal estate tax, but get off the grid with the state of Illinois.
Now, I don't remember what the results were, the ramification of Penny, less than attractive woman, forgetting to put $134 million on her tax return. 80 from consulting and another 54 from consulting. But I believe there was no audit. So when you go to these offshore Bahamian trusts, does my money have to touch Pritzker money? Because I don't want to be near Pritzker money. I don't want my money touching their money. I want nothing to do with the Pritzkers. I don't want to ever look like a Flintstone either.
No, we can partition it, Sean.
All right.
So
good.
you could be an Illinois resident, for instance, not your case, but you could be an Illinois resident, never have to leave Illinois. We can use a South Dakota Dynasty Trust, where a South Dakota Dynasty Trust never dies. So we have some folks who want to leave. They want to leave money to several generations in the future. Well, you can't do that with an Illinois trust. Also, you can legally take money offshore to Cook Islands. Cook Islands Trust. It costs about $25,000 to set it up. I'm not an attorney, but we can help you with that. And you actually have to make some legal filings with the IRS to make the Cook Islands Trust legal. And this is stuff the Pritzkers are doing.
Now, you know what I love about it? So we're going to go to South Dakota to save your money. We're going to go to the Cook Islands. We're going to go to the Bahamas. And everybody's related to Delaware. Joe Biden, that rat bastard, represents a state that was created for tax evasion, for tax cheating, for no corporations pay tax. He's going to raise the tax on everybody. Where is the safe tax haven in Illinois? I guess we circumvented to the back of your book of Illinois. I'd like to go to the Illinois Tax Trust. What is that like? You give them all your money and they let you live on the street and become a crackhead.
Natalie and I live in Mount Prospect, not too fancy a house. Our property taxes now are $19,000 a year for the privilege of not sending our kids to Prospect High School. So it's like, it's like
you're paying taxes, and it's a prison where my kid has a very high probability of being raped in the bathroom, ended up a crackhead. I'm not going to send him to public school. It's a real system of should I go or should I stay. It's thin. And I'm surprised it took you more than 4 pages.
Well,
very good. I like it.
Well, it's Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go? I mean, it only takes so many pages.
Exactly.
Right?
First 2 pages are directions. And that's the other thing that's very interesting. People have to understand you may be anchored because of love and affection. You may be. And many of my friends in this room, I've got friends and family. They're not going to go. They can't go. Who wants to see the grandkids? Who wants to see their sister with the bad attitude and the limp? I understand it, but you should structure your assets so your kids never have to feel that way. You might be too old. You might be too unsure of yourself, but make certain your kids or grandkids don't have to do it. That's really the importance of contacting an investment advisor, of contacting somebody with financial solutions for the future, because you should. One thing you could say about Abe, I don't have a lot of things to say about him, but at least he set up his family. I mean, if you're really related to this Pritzkers, you got shortchanged on the looks. However, you got a pair of 2s on the looks, but you really came out with aces on the money. So you could set it up for your grandkids you might not even know, or your great-grandkids. And that's what people do. Because rather than pay taxes, if you've got some money, give it away. right?
Yeah, you can set up, if you want to help the future generations, you can do that. In the Escape Illinois book, one of the things we talk about is if you're not going to leave, because I'm not telling you to stay or to go, but if you're not going to leave, let's at least save you on your federal income taxes, because a lot of folks don't realize all of your IRA, 401k, 403b, deferred comp, TSP, all that money, you've never paid federal income tax on any of it. And you can't even move to Florida and get out of that trick bag. So we have clients in Florida, and we help them seek to minimize their federal income taxes if they're down there, or if people want to stay in Illinois, let's at least get your federal income taxes cut in half over the rest of your life.
And you drive out and you see how beautiful Pingree, it really is. It's beautiful the way out here, Union, where Donley is. And you look at these families, generations of busting their ass, taxes on top of taxes, paying for property they paid for generations ago. How advantageous it could be to just make the call and offset some of the liability, some of the expense, and explore just what's in there. You owe it to yourself to do it, because if you don't do it, the government hopes you don't do it. Most people don't realize you die intestate in a Democrat mafia state, they're not going to look for your relatives. They're looking to take your money. That's the grave robbers.
We have probably the majority of our clients are in Cook County. Oh. And in Cook County, a probate right now is taking 14 months to settle. And even
well, the judges are busy. They got lunch with their side broad. There's a lot of stuff to blow money on if you're a judge in Cook County, and you don't have to work or do anything.
Yeah, they're taking 14 months to settle a probate in Cook County, and even on a very modest estate, it's $5,000 in costs. Because so what do they tell you? So what do they tell you? The solution is get a trust for $3,500 to $4,000, so you don't have to pay the $5,000.
Yeah.
But which actually is a better plan, not legal advice, however.
Listen, I've got all my family here who I really loved. And it's become so corrupt and so dishonest and so much of a Soviet system. Is there any tax advantage to me going there with my SUV, digging them up and taking their corpses down to Florida? Can I at least save some taxes in the future, or get them to stop voting Democrat for the rest of eternity?
Well, Sean, if you're concerned about the Illinois estate tax, what you'd have to do is not leave drag marks when your family passes.
Oh, my
Get them in the Suburban, truck them down there, and then get a death certificate in Florida. We'll try to establish that they're a Florida resident, not an Illinois resident.
Yeah, and the best part, it really makes me chuckle. Who is the guy that raised 27 new taxes on Illinoisans? The guy who never paid any. The guy who used his political clout and his grandfather's money to bribe, to not only buy a mansion he didn't want anybody to be his next door neighbor in, but to bribe one of these half-ass, short-in-the-pants law firms to pretend they tore the toilets out, to lower the taxes to a fraction. And this rat bastard is the guy raising taxes. You got to hate yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't, you call Scott Tucker.
That's right.
You didn't think I could put a bow on that, did you?
Yeah,
you were wrong.
You get on our phone calendar for free right now at tuckerretirement.com. At tuckerretirement.com, see our phone calendar, click and pick a time that works for you.
Now, did you make these books so that if someone reads it and they realize just how screwed they are, if they throw them, is the book is it damage proof? Is there any rubber in it feels like it's a sturdy cover. It feels like I could throw it far.
Yeah, you could throw it far. You could hurt somebody.
There you go. I like it. All right, very good. Well, Scott Tucker, I can't thank you enough for being a part of the station and the show, but more importantly, I love the idea that you're helping people keep their own money, which is something every American needs to do. You need to educate yourselves. You need to make all the effort you can to do it. So I really appreciate you doing it. Oh, you want to wait, we got a call. Hold on now. Does you want to ask Scott a question? Oh, here, look at you. You got a caller. Here we go. It's not Amy Jacobson, so don't get too excited.
So Rick says he listens to Scott and Amy every Sunday morning. He's in Des Plaines. Rick in Des Plaines. Say hello.
Now, Rick, are you related to or on the recipient of any funds from Amy or Scott? Because I'd like to disclose that to the audience.
Do not, but I do love listening to the program, and
all right, fair enough.
Recorded, so I just wanted to say hello, Scott Tucker.
Hello, Scott Tucker.
Look at that. That's what you want, a financial advisor that takes instructions like that.
That's right.
Boom. There you go. Save me money, Scott Tucker, is what you should be saying.
Guys, man, this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick, for calling. I appreciate it. So, Rick, let's do market. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Rick listens to the show with myself and Amy Jacobson every Sunday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on AM 560.
Yeah, I got you. I love it. I'd love to know how Amy is just shocked by the content that you're giving her every day. Does she take an aspirin before or after the show normally?
Oh, during.
During. I can't get Mark, Honey Bunny. You want to get him for me? All right, we can't get Mark. All right, well, listen. We will go to break. Well, we can't go. We're going to go over break. All right. We're live on location at Goldbert's in Pingree Grove. Do you love it here?
Oh, it's great.
Isn't it amazing what they did here?
Yeah, it'd be hard to. It's actually hard to describe on the radio. It's like a big glass barn almost.
It's absolutely fantastic. You know what it is? It's farmy chic. Farmy chic. Put that on a sign. I'm not going to charge anybody. All right, we got Mark. Mark, Oak Lawn.
Hey, Sean. Thanks for taking my call. How you doing, Scott?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. You know, Sean, is Pritzker, with Trump and the gas tax, so we're paying a lot of money for gas, but I know he's trying, and hopefully, I don't mind paying it because I know he's trying to do some good. He's trying to eliminate that nuclear threat from Iran, but, I heard Pugsley talking about, Trump is this, he's raising taxes on everybody, blah, blah, blah. But that badass, you think he'd lower the taxes on the state of Illinois?
Mark, you bring up
between Indiana and Illinois.
Well, the most important part of what you bring up is only in Illinois are you paying this cost. You could go to any state around and it's $1 cheaper, $1.30 cheaper. And when it comes to Pritzker cheating on his own taxes, I'd like to make him a wager. I'll let you take the write-off. Give him the money back if you can take the toilet out yourself. I want to see his big fat ass with the plumber's crack bend over. And Lefty Lucy, hey Fetzo, Lefty Lucy, now use your legs when you're trying to lift a commode. Never did a day's work in his life, the rat bastard. I love it, Mark. Thanks for the question.
Sean, do you think that Jibs eats donuts in the toilet?
Oh, I tell you what, I think he has a slave follow him around with the donut holes. He doesn't want to waste his time chewing a donut. They just throw the holes in his mouth like a seal. I thank you enough for making time and coming out and helping the people. Really, Scott, one more time, give a plug to your website where they can get everything.
Yeah, you get a free copy of my latest book, Escape Illinois, Should I Stay or Should I Go, at retirementdecoded.com. You can get it on our phone calendar at 560retirement.com.
Scott, thank you very much. When we get back, we'll take your calls, 312-642-5600. We'll be back soon.
What if everything you've been told about government, health care, poverty, energy, and even science is a carefully constructed lie? In Sean Thompson's new book, What If It's All a Lie? Sean Thompson dismantles the myths at the core of modern America. This is the book the ruling class doesn't want you to read. And once you do, you won't see the world the same way again. Order your copy today at SeanThompsonShow.com/book.
I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. If you're a business owner with unfiled tax returns, tax season is not your friend. This is when the IRS turns up the heat. They match 1099s. They review payroll filings. They compare bank deposits. And when returns are missing, they don't send you a warning. They take action. Penalties stack